Yo YouTube, si vous regardez la vidéo, c'est que vous êtes sur YouTube, du coup, on est en live Twitch, donc ça va bientôt commencer, hein, on est prêt, on est paré. Hop 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 hop.
Be careful. Looks clear.
Les boomers. Ça c'est les boomers ça. Putain en tout cas très bon trailer en tout début.
Hey guys, good news. I'm in LA and we're finishing up voice recordings for Aiden in Dying Light 2. And this particular quest we're working on right now showcases a lot of the disgusting, horrific freaks of nature that you're gonna fight in the game itself.
Oh putain nice.
The better news is that the episode today of Dying to Know focuses almost entirely on those monsters. And
Nice.
I'll tell you all about them, and it's gonna be fantastic. The bad news is I'm not gonna be there in the studio. At least this time, I'm gonna be in this studio recording lines for a while. But Leia's gonna take good care of you. We're gonna make sure that you get everything you need to know, and I think I gotta get back to work. Leia, the stage is yours. Good night. Good luck, and remember.
Propre. Le no gameplay trailer il m'intéresse. Eh ben. T'empêche, la meuf elle est bonne. Eh mais c'est le créateur. Hmm. Oh putain, volatile. Oh nice. Juste, on voit le comportement de zombies. Hmm. putain, ils sont pas mal.
And because of that, we have greatly improved our stealth mechanics, so now you can go through the entire dark zone completely unnoticed. That is, as long as you stay quiet and don't misstep.
Ok.
No, absolutely, don't do that. Never do that. Never kick, no, never kick the bucket, no.
Elle louche. Elle louche. Elle louche, ta mère.
They were created by chemicals that make the infection progress too fast, causing mutations. So sometimes when you stay quiet, sneak behind them, and observe them, you will see that they seem to be uncomfortable in their new body, as if they didn't have time to get used to them.
Wow, okay. And they're all like quite unique and different as well, aren't they?
Well, yes, everyone is unique, and for example, the Revenant, who's my personal favorite,
Oh putain.
has those things coming from his back, almost like wings. He's very scary, very dangerous, but also smart and intelligent. And to capture this part of his nature,
Oh non, 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 non. Pourquoi ça lag?
have his appearance more human.
I think smart and intelligent are two of my least favorite things when encountering an enemy that sounds that scary. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Timon.
Thank you for having me.
Putain, ça a lagué.
Now, why don't we take a sneak peek at some of those monsters in action in this brand new game?
Oh oui, putain, s'il te plaît, ouais.
So, you have an army here?
The peacekeepers. Seriously riling up the bazaar folks.
I'll proceed with caution. Where we going? You wanted to show me something?
Sure. Follow me.
You won't get far without the biomarker.
Putain, classe. Ah, les mouvements, ils ont l'air vraiment clean, hein. Vraiment clean, hein. Oh putain. Oh yo yo.
Yeah. We have to walk past them.
Oh putain.
If you crouch and move slowly, they shouldn't notice you. Get too close and you're done for.
Oh, oh les gars. Moi je vous dis les gars, je suis un bâtard, je vais danser 100 fois, hein.
What is that?
Chemicals. Nasty shit. Giori doused the whole hospital with it. Along with the patients and staff.
Oh, putain les gars, ça fait... Waouh. Aïe aïe aïe, ça donne trop envie sa mère.
Wanted to stop the infection at all costs.
Oh les démolisseurs.
Worked out great for now.
Oh les jeteurs d'acide, les cracheurs. Oh,
We got company.
c'est les mêmes rangs, en tout cas c'est bien ça. Vous êtes prêts à avoir de l'action? On se sent vraiment faible, hein, ça qui est bien. Oh putain. Oh yes. Nice, putain.
That's great. Sorry about this.
Sorry about what?
About that. On behalf of all its whores, bandits, and idiots, I christen you a citizen of Villador. Fuck. You're about to turn. Get into the light fast.
Ah ouais, donc il y a vraiment aussi une limite sur ouais, tu dois rester à la lumière, putain, c'est bien. Oh, le stress que ça doit faire, les frères. Et je vais kiffer ma mère, hein. Je vous le dis, hein. Ça, je vous le dis, c'est du spoil.
That was wild.
Ah ouais,
And if
putain.
you want to see how the creatures we've just seen were created, Kasia Bech, the lead character concept artist, and Dominik Vashenko, the lead 3D character artist, are here to tell us more. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello. So my first question for you today is, how did you come up with all of the like forms and shapes for the monsters in the game?
So first we had to create a
Oh,
general
okay.
idea of how virus could evolve visually.
Okay.
We used elements from various skin diseases, like hardened tissue working as organic armor, blisters filled with yellow pus as weak points, and some burned skin scars to create interesting texture on the skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, we have Demolisher and his blisters. They shine at night. And that's because we wanted our monsters to be like really visible and recognizable in the dark.
Ah, là, c'est bon, on entend ma voix.
And you kind of must have had this idea from the start then that you wanted the Demolisher to be the bigger and tougher of the monsters, right?
Là, on m'entend bien normalement.
He would
Beaucoup
throw
mieux.
heavy objects or charge,
Hmm.
and our goal was to make his silhouette really monumental and aggressive, just to
Ça serait allé beaucoup plus vite.
Okay, so the Demolisher is probably one of the bigger monsters in the game. Have you got an example of like the smaller monsters, maybe?
Yes, of course. For example, we have Banshee. She's insanely fast and agile. Because of that, she needs to be, of course, smaller than the Demolisher, and she doesn't have like the hardened tissue that we saw on him. But I wouldn't mess with her.
Yeah, we really wanted her femininity to show. So she's wearing a dress, though it's pretty ragged now. And also she's wearing jewelry that's fused into her body while she was turning. And her hands grow larger than the rest of her body.
Oh, je sens que ça va être chaud
Almost
sa
like
mère, ça.
Demolishers, but here the disproportion is much bigger.
Wow. Yeah, and I feel like there's a story behind that with like the jewelry fusing to the body. That's so intense. But why are her hands so big?
Basically, they're her weapons. So, yeah, because she strikes from above, her fingers grow longer and also sharper to cut, not to hit. Because, yeah, so due to her force.
Oh, je vais me faire plaisir, les gars, je vous le dis.
Kill them. She knows.
Exactly.
So does that mean we can be expecting Banshee to jump on the roof downwards?
Yes, she's so
Ah, il y a tout qui tombe chez moi, là.
agile that she might surprise the player like by striking them midair.
Wow.
So, yeah, something that no other like monster can do.
No. Okay, yeah. Can't see the Demolisher doing that. Just splat. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing more about the process of design. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On n'en dit pas plus parce qu'on veut garder la suite pour plus tard.
Well, if you like stories, we've got a bit of a treat for you. When it gets dark at night and the monsters leave their lairs and roam the city streets, the residents of the city like to gather in their safe spots under the UV lamps for protection and wait out until the dawn. And when they're doing that, they like to kill time by telling stories themselves about Banshee, for example. If you're wondering why she's wearing that beautiful necklace and ball gown, well, now you can find out.
C'est une bande dessinée? Les gars, je vais essayer de on va l'aller, hein. I'm the cure.
Techland have partnered with Dynamite to create a comic series, and this is just a teaser of what to expect.
Oh
You can
putain.
get a physical copy yourself in stores soon, but if you head to techlandgg.com, you can also get a digital version for free.
On lira après ensemble.
Plenty more content. You can find a brand new starter pack, more information about the monsters. You can get a 6-piece outfit coming very, very soon. More information about the game entirely, the Dying to Know shows, basically everything. So why don't you check it out for yourself at techlandgg.com. I feel like I know quite a lot about monsters now, but if there's one thing that intrigues me, it's how do you make something so inhuman and terrifying come to life in-game? Luckily, we have the one person who can answer that question here with us today. It's Dying Light 2's animation director, David Lubrica, and he's here to tell us more.
Ah non, mais les monstres, là, ils donnent envie. Hein.
Welcome, David.
Hello, welcome.
Hello. So you work with the animation team in taking all that concept art and bringing it to life and having like an actual living, breathing monster in the game. So how do you even start with that?
So the process starts with creating a prototype and then designing choreography based on this. Then we take it to the mock-up shoot, and that's where we have our actors interpret the movements, and we actually learn from them also. That gives us some extra ideas. But the real magic happens when we take all the things we captured and start putting into the engine and into the game's language.
Okay, can you give us an example of that in game?
Sure, like Volatile, for example. So he sniffs around, he searches for his prey, he has those cat-like jumps. But many of those movements are actually characteristics of the creatures we know from animal documentaries. And he combines them with some new ones and unique ones, and that's what makes him who he actually is.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to be like in game.
Ah, salut Poutrino. Tu peux dire coucou YouTube, hein, t'inquiète, t'es là.
Right. Yeah, with him it's not the best idea.
On entend, je suis en train de tuer le monde en même temps. Hein.
And all of them actually are very, very distinctive and interesting.
Coucou YouTube.
Personalities in game.
Sure. So let's take a look at Howler, for example. He doesn't fight. He's more of an alarm. Like
Bah, en tout cas, je peux dire que t'as loupé pas mal de choses. Hein. Pas mal de choses intéressantes qui arrivaient sur le jeu. Et je sens vraiment que le jeu me donne vraiment envie, très très envie de le faire. Aïe aïe aïe.
To see better, to see his surroundings, but that also makes him look like this very scared, panic child.
Why is he so scared?
Well, it's because there are some traces of his humanity in him. He really wants to scream, but
Donc, tu sais, je suis en retard TKT, c'est pas grave, ça arrive à tout le monde.
And vocal cords, and that would just hurt him too much. He's helpless.
But they all just lose this fight with their instincts then at some point.
Totally. Actually,
TKT.
rather evoke pity. You can see that they can notice the deformations the virus has done to their bodies. They can touch them, they can experience something like seizures, and you can see that all this aggression, all this rage is repressed in them.
Putain, c'est pas mal intéressant. Hein.
Might trigger it, and that's usually an opponent. And you can see that all this
c'est grave intéressant en vrai.
Is
crois-moi.
And transferred on the opponent, on the player, for example, us.
I can't wait to see that in game. But I want to talk about Banshee because we mentioned her earlier. We've seen how she looks, but like, how is she animated?
She's curious.
C'est parce qu'elle Banshee, c'est le zombie qui est là. C'est le zombie qui est là.
And she uses them to fight, but kind of like a byproduct. And we had to imagine how she would feel about them. And we thought they must really bother her, right?
Yeah.
She can get really
You speak English, yes, very well.
In this very uncontrolled way.
Après, désolé si tu comprends pas, mais je ferai un petit résumé à la fin.
She's like conflicted.
Totally, she's really conflicted. You can actually see her sometimes actively hunting you, and then at some point, if she gets too close to you during combat, she'll just suddenly jump back and cower, as if she was trying to resist the virus, but ultimately she would just give in to its power.
Wow, this has been fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Il vient d'expliquer en fait ce que c'était un zombie, voilà, le Banshee, et c'est intéressant.
If you've ever wondered which of the infected in the world of Dying Light you might be, then I've got good news. You can check out a quiz at dyinglightgame.com.
Est-ce qu'on le fait? Est-ce qu'on le fait?
Find out whether you'd be, I don't know, a violent volatile, a tough demolisher, or maybe a human. Take the test and share it with your friends.
Faire quoi? On va faire le test.
You need allies out here in the darkness,
Qui
even
propose?
if you're an infected, or maybe especially if you're an infected. And if you can't wait until December the 7th to find out more about the world of Dying Light, why not check out what's been added to Dying Light 1?
Ouais, qu'est-ce qui est ajouté?
Last month, over 500,000 new players have entered the world of Dying Light.
Ah ouais.
We've had the highest number of active players across all platforms since launch, which is amazing.
Oui, parce que frérot, vous avez lancé un jeu qui donne une hype, c'est normal qu'ils vont acheter le premier.
Content is on the way to Dying Light 1 also, like the Savvy Gamer DLC
Je l'ai acheté. Quoi?
And if you head to Techland GG, you could get your hands on this in-game weapon, the Wasp.
Putain, je la veux bien. Faut la faire arriver à la faire. Est-ce que je la fais le chat? Est-ce que je la fais?
So keep checking it out with more coming soon. Alright, well since Dying to Know is about the world of Dying Light 2, there's still something else we need to hear about. If you pardon the pun, because we're going to be talking about the sound design of Dying Light 2. If you've ever wondered about where the roaring, the growling, the screaming that covers the streets of the city at night comes from, then you're in the right place, because we're going to be talking to one of the lead sound designers to tell you more.
Non, ça, c'est son designer. Ça va, pas ouf.
Senior sound designer Tomek Shedak is here with us today. Hello.
Hey, nice to meet you.
You too, hello.
C'est un français. À l'accent les frères. Non, non, c'est pas fini. Enfin, je crois, ouais. Putain, je pensais... Frérot, il a un accent français, anglais, là. Vraiment? Je rigole pas. Baguette. Baguette, baguette. Baguette.
You know, has to have sound with some kind of acidic characteristics, some watery hissing stuff in it. And there is the Banshee, a woman monster, and her voice is high pitched and vibrating and really, really scary.
So you work alongside your twin brother Wojtek, and he also records a lot of the sounds that you use to create these monsters, and we actually have a video of that process, so we can have a closer look at what that entails.
Le café! Mon expresso! Putain, le gars il fait bien quand même! Il est... Vraiment, il les fait bien, le gars. Après, je compte bouger sur Dying Light, donc ouais. C'est incroyable, drôle les sons des fêtes. Ouais, je sais. Après, crois-moi, c'est pire, hein. Tu vas sur d'autres trucs, c'est pire, hein, vraiment. Tu sais que c'est toujours comme ça, hein.
You have to pass this message through the voice, and the message has to be very, very, very clear. So, basic monster like a biter has 700 voice assets. So the scale, it's enormous.
Yeah, that's a lot to try and communicate in.
Eh ben, c'est chaud sa mère, ça par contre. 700 voix.
But what about the entire city?
Our city is dying. So we had to find these abandoned places where there is no sound of the civilization. We visited abandoned factories, we visited post-military...
Putain, ils sont allés loin.
We went to the forest at minus 15 degrees because it sounds completely different than in the summer, and we climbed up the mountains. It was a lot of interesting places we wouldn't visit without Dying Light 2. And you know, at night, with the good headphones, you can definitely enjoy it.
En vrai, il faut beaucoup d'imagination pour faire les bruits. Ouais, ouais, grave content. Je suis d'accord.
Thank you for having me.
And you can check out the hard work of the Shedak brothers and their teams when Dying Light 2 releases on December the 7th.
D'ailleurs, je pourrais savoir la version collector, j'ai un peu le seum, mais bon, tant pis. Hein.
You can become a part of that amazing universe. Remember the UGC contest? It's already started, so just show us your art to be in with a
Je suis
chance
nul
of winning a copy of
en
the
art.
already sold out collector's edition
Non.
and join the world of Dying Light 2. Just look at all the amazing things people have already created.
Putain, stylé. Non, en vrai, stylé.
Dying Light 2 releases later this year on December the 7th, and you can pre-order it right now. But if you want to dive into the universe immediately, then why don't you check out Techland GG for more news, updates, and to have your free copy of the Banshee comic.
Je vais télécharger le...
Alright, I think we know everything about monsters now, except for one thing, how to defeat them. So stay tuned for the next episode.
Ah là là, c'est fini déjà.
Different combat styles, weapon crafting, and
Oh.
the iconic Dying Light 2 parkour.
Ça par contre c'est bien.
Designed in cooperation
Ça c'est
with
très bien.
Techland.
Ça c'est beaucoup. Ah ok, je vois ce que t'attends. Bon, on va dire que Breath of the Wild il m'a pas trop intéressé moi. Putain, c'est vachement intéressant frérot. Waouh. Waouh. Est-ce que c'est le même français du coup? Parce que je sais qu'ils avaient utilisé le même français pour ça. C'est un français qui avait fait les parcours du 1. Voilà, voilà.
Maintenant, c'est à vous de les trouver.
By the way, I'm Hakon.
C'est bien français.
Do better on your own. Trust me.
Oh putain. C'est le même français du coup qu'ils ont pris.
Thanks for watching episode 2 of Dying to Know. And remember, the virus isn't the only thing that makes a monster. So stay human.
Aïe aïe aïe, les bons gros bâtards. Chiche, chiche. Et c'est fini, du coup. Ouais, donc c'est fini. Ok.